Welcome to it, sports fans. Monday, the 31st of May, really a Monday of champions, if you will. A weekend filled with football. Some say the biggest prize in world football. The most difficult competition to win. Other teams played on Thursday. Played the 7th best team in Spain. Some teams played possibly the greatest dynasty in English football in 15 years. Some lost. Some won. That's all I'm saying. A weekend of champions. A weekend of a 21-year-old German kid doing his thing. Rounds the keeper, slots at home, and the rest is glorious history. Now, that's all I'm going to say. Not a lot of people going, hey, how was your weekend? Was it good? I'm saying it was great. Now, a lot of people wondering, am I going to be unbearable on social media for the next 6 to 8 weeks? You better believe it. Chelsea Football Club, champions of Europe, again. It feels amazing. After all the down talk, Man City going to beat you 5-0. I told you, some of my favorite words on this planet are the following. I told you so. I love saying that. I know a lot of people don't like saying that. I have no emotional intelligence. I will tell you, I told you so, and it feels great. It feels fantastic. Thomas Tuchel, the Tuchel touch. Chelsea back on top. What a weekend. Now, James, you don't support a team that's won the Champions League this year. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend got some messages from classic James Elsley.
That's me.
And, you know, you got to say it to yourself. Definitely the wrong date in the corner there, if you're wondering. It's definitely not the 28th.
I just saw that too. Now I'm so sorry. I'm changing it.
But we can fix it.
I'm fixing it now.
Winning's not for everybody. Being elite's not for everybody. Joining me now, a man who supported a club. They won a title for the first time in 30 years. And they thought it was the beginning of a dynasty. Clearly not. But a man who believed that Jurgen Klopp was a savior. A man who has actually slipped off in the coffee influencer game. His social media content, not great, but that's his own business. A man who is the third favorite son for a reason. Heartbreak for him. Sends me a message going, I bet you're never going to let me hear the end of it. And I said, you are dead right. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only. A man whose girlfriend may or may not leave him for a Chelsea fan. Now, I don't know that to be true or not. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that window's open. Ladies and gentlemen, James, Jimbo, Illingsley.
Hi.
James, what's happening, pal? How you doing?
So much has happened in the last probably 5 minutes before and while we've been live.
Sure.
Things I've discovered, like before we went live when I said to you, there's no way that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know what that was?
Breaking news. Can I guess, or do you want to break the news? I'll let you break it, James, as a big-time journalist. Here is news.
So, if you try and search Chelsea on Twitter,
yeah,
they are still at Chelsea FC.
Yes.
But they've changed their account name.
Yes.
Very annoyingly.
To what, James? I have no idea. I haven't seen it. I know nothing of it.
Champions of Europe with a trophy.
By the way, listen, that happened immediately, by the way. The Chelsea admin for social media was on it immediately. Like, final whistle, I went to Twitter, done immediately. So whoever the admin is, bump that salary up by £2,000 or £3,000 a month on the ball.
I'm not angry.
Yes.
I'm just disappointed.
James, in fairness though, you are such an Aquarius.
You know, I used to be told that all the time, and that's, I think, the reason why it doesn't work with a lot of my friendships.
There was no way, because Chelsea is obviously Pisces with the blue.
Obviously. Pisces
in May, OVS. We were going to win.
And
right?
like Mercury in retrograde and stuff.
You know what's incredible is there are people that believe that. But
yes, there are. I know people that believe that.
There's people who get into the sciencey side of it, but then there are actually people that think the height of waves, the ebb and flow of the ocean versus Mercury's state is going to determine whether their football club's going to win or not.
No, I like I told you, and I don't need to repeat that, but I know people.
No, please tell us. A lot of people don't know, didn't hear this conversation, or to tell us, like, in your personal life.
So, in different sort of spheres at the company I used to work at, there was like a lot of talk about the whole such an Aquarius.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not like, okay, please just stop.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, you have your beliefs. I just don't feel like the moon and the stars tell me who I am. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Like, I know I'm an Aquarius.
Yeah, typical.
You know, forgetful and just
Insensitive.
you know, and introverted but extroverted at the same time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Yeah, a bad boy. Like, how do you just reach James? Nobody can reach him. You know what? You know what's lovable about him is that he's made himself unlovable. Like that whole thing, that whole vibe.
You know, he's just been through so much, and his walls are so high now.
Oh my
You
god.
can't get through to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, please,
Now,
guys.
a lot of people are going to say sound sexist here because you guys are labeling a particular demographic in society, but it does tend to be ladies. Like
It does.
and it tends to be a certain economic demographic of ladies as well.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to get into it too much, but the thing is, you can't get away from them
Exactly.
because it's also never like. It's weirdly like these good-looking girls as well, and I don't care what guys say. People are attracted to good-looking people,
Sure.
and they just, you know what I think it is. I've actually just thought about it. Nobody in society gets less pushback than a good-looking girl. So they can always do madness, right? And nobody's like, very rarely do they say anything. You know what I mean? If you're a dude, you're gonna get pushback. Like guys, there's a level of being good-looking as a guy where it stops mattering. But if you're a good-looking girl, like your life's your life's great from probably 13 to about 23. Because from 23, I think grown-ups really, your looks aren't that important. It's are you a grown-up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I just think those types of people have never heard like no or that's nonsense. And generally, it's just that the way our society is built, if you are a good-looking girl, you will get away with murder. And things like, I'm an Aquarius, so I'm not dating a Pisces. You know what I mean?
Oh, guys, you know, this pandemic, it's made me believe that Mercury's been in retrograde for like 2 years now.
We actually needed this pandemic.
Oh,
We
please.
needed to just reset our consciousness,
And
our
our
global
chakras.
consciousness. Yeah, we've been, you know what? Actually, this is what they sound like, right? Is everyone's suffering now. And I think that's why it's been so powerful.
Absolutely.
And I mean, this very person lives in some palace, right? In the, like, somewhere in New York
yeah.
or in California or in like the northern suburbs of Johannesburg. And there's a global suffering right now. And it's so good for all of us.
Absolutely.
It's not all about money. And I know I live in my dad's second apartment, but I needed the space to grow. Like, do you know what I mean?
Do you know how stressful it is to
Yeah.
have to go downstairs and get my green smoothie?
That's it.
You know, I'm worried about people coughing on me.
Yeah.
And
And actually,
so glad I have my dad's second apartment.
and the delivery food guy didn't have his mask on. And do you know what? It's why we needed this reset. Everyone thinks of themselves. Like, there's a type, right? And it does, I mean, as I'm saying it, it does sound a little sexist. But I'm afraid, I don't know, maybe people can tell us in the comment section. Ladies, if you are still listening after we've kind of been extremely sexist here, let us know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I guarantee you, I think it's because good-looking girls just don't hear pushback because guys are idiots, right? So between like 13 and 22, guys are guys are idiots in general, right?
Yeah.
But between those ages, we are at our ultimate. You know, if you're good looking and you're a girl, we will do almost anything for you.
It's funny you say those things because that actually leads me to why I believe Chelsea won the Champions League.
Oh, let's hear it. Yes.
And I told you I do have a what's the word?
A theory.
A theory.
Yes.
As to why Chelsea won the Champions League. My theory is that remember a couple of years ago, Chelsea Football Club was trending for a couple of weeks in a row when they had a physio, Eva
Canario,
yeah,
I think her name was.
and then
Yes.
she left.
Yes.
But Chelsea was trending because everyone found out that the physio at Chelsea was an incredibly, incredibly beautiful woman,
Yes.
right? I think...
And a doctor, by the way.
Exactly.
An
right?
incredibly beautiful doctor. Yeah.
So she's beautiful and intelligent, right? Okay. I think the reason Chelsea won the Champions League is because now that she's left,
Yeah.
it's taken the players a couple of years to sort of regroup. They've brought in new players.
Yes.
Everyone's fresh-minded and no longer thinking about Eva.
That toxic masculinity needed to get out of there.
Exactly.
So got rid of Mourinho
Yeah.
and the sort of the wave of Eva and the toxicity. We had to get rid of that.
Yes.
I mean, having said that, Chelsea have won 2 Premier League titles since her departure, whether right or wrong. So I kind of hear what you're saying. And as a Taurus, I have to acknowledge that that's possible. I have to. I'm not living with integrity if I don't.
Tauruses are often open, you know?
Yeah.
Do you prefer to be called it? What can I call you?
Personally, I don't see color and I don't see gender. So I just identify as Homo sapien. That's me.
Okay.
I don't see color. I don't even there is only one race, the human race. Yeah, these are people that actually exist on this planet. Okay, but I like your theory. So the toxic masculinity was actually blocking Chelsea's chakras from winning the Champions League.
Yeah, I think so.
That makes total sense because of the third wave.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, James, what perspective you have.
Look, this weekend was an eye-opener,
It is.
you know?
COVID changed everything.
That statement is
COVID changed everything.
adequate. It's an adequate statement.
COVID changed everything. like, you know what? I feel it is our duty to call out these monsters. Now, a lot of times when you say things like this, you see it within yourself.
Yes.
But it is important that we call out these monsters on social media. Again, we have called some out, but I think we need to change the narrative. We need to take control of the narrative, right? These COVID changed everything, people. COVID changed nothing. You're still going to be as selfish as you were before in your dad's apartment. Like, COVID changed nothing. Like, these people who, what I'm hearing now is, I'm just like, you know what? It's the anxiety's about, why wasn't I taking care of my health before? Like, this is going to do nothing for that. You're going to be back at clubs, kissing every girl and guy with a face within a month. But these people that, like, I'm always skeptical of people that come out on, like, social media.
Yeah.
And give you the, I'm transcended.
Yeah.
Right? Is just, I want to be more connected. I'm always skeptical of those. It was, I actually met this lady. Who's the Israeli actress? Gal Gadot.
Oh.
Yeah, I met her.
Could have just said Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't know that when I met her. We had a full-on conversation in Cape Town. But anyway, I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the pandemic, she released a video.
Which
Yeah, like they started singing a song and there was a lot of them. But anyway, Gal Gadot like spread a message of like hope from like her estate.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on now.
Yeah.
Like especially now third wave vibes. And we need to call those people out. You're terrible human beings. Not enough people are saying that. Like Ellen, you're a terrible human being inside your palace telling everyone, we got to stick together.
I think Ellen can consider herself very, very lucky because
she is lucky. How beautiful is her wife?
Well, I was going to say that all those allegations about her came out during COVID, right?
Oh, is it?
So
yeah.
Yes.
During
COVID. And I think COVID overshadowed that whole thing and people just kind of moved on from it.
Although, listen, shout out to Ellen for making all the money in the world and also there are worse things than having to lock down with Portia de Rossi, I'd imagine.
Portia de Rossi is quite a specimen.
She's a firecracker. She is a White Walker. She will never age.
Mm-mm.
She will never age.
She hasn't in years, just like Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox.
Those are the people. And I saw a picture of Halle Berry the other day as well.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Absolutely. And Sylvester Stallone, I'm realizing.
Yeah,
now.
he's doing it. He's got that I eat weights in the morning neck.
Yeah, but he's had...
And Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
By the way, MIT guy, so not just a musclehead proper. Proper
Smart
smart guy.
dude.
Smarty pants, yeah.
Not just a pretty face, huh?
Yeah, like you, James. As you, in fact, James always says that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's not just a pretty face.
So yeah, you know what? I think we need to make this a feature where we call out monsters on. Now, having said that, what we're actually doing by that is sometimes we display those, you know, as with anyone when they come and confront people, often I display those characteristics.
Yeah.
So I'm actually being the people that I'm calling out, but it's got to happen, right?
Who are you if you can't criticize yourself?
You know,
us Aquarians, we're just so wise. Beyond our years.
it's incredible.
Our years.
It's so humbling to be across from you, James. Not only as a Champions League champion, as a Chelsea fan, but I mean, obviously you don't see color, you don't see race, you just see the human race, and it's just incredible to be near you. James, I can actually feel your chakras from here. As a Chelsea fan, somebody who's a champion. By the way, didn't even give you a fist bump this morning, James. You haven't touched the winner in a while, but it's okay. Because COVID changed everything. James, good to see you, pal.
I was going to make a terrible joke. Good to see you too.
But that's just your normal jokes, James.
It's my Aquarian nature.
Like reliable,
yeah.
but not funny.
No, but
Aquarius.
You're forgetting that my sun sign is an Aries, and that means that...
Oh, they are those parents as well.
Yeah.
Like they have different kids. Like, oh, my son's such a Leo and my daughter's such a Pisces.
Yeah.
Like, no. Just raise your kids. Shut the hell up and raise your kids. No, you got to call these monsters out. The problem is that, again, now, this is probably, as a bachelor, not doing me any favors. But I think we need to build into culture between 13 and 22. The best looking girls need to be, even if she's right, let's maybe start telling them, no, you're wrong. Because they generally end up being these people that think tarot card readings are a good thing for society. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do know what I mean, right? And
I do.
So there's a lot of people who don't live in South Africa. They go to certain schools. Now, I don't want to say the names of the schools. James went to a school that has girls as well now. That there's an echelon, right? Two of them are white and green in Johannesburg. You'll know who I'm talking about. There's one in two in the Natal Midlands. There's one in Durban, in the Durban area. Yeah, it's got I'm not going to say the name. But
there's also a white and red one in... There's a couple of them around the Gauteng area.
There's white and green in Cape Town as well. It's in Newlands. Everybody knows the one I'm talking about. So we got to tell these girls no. Like from 13 to 22, just almost once a week, if you're a parent, just tell if your daughter is good looking, tell her no and give her some pushback. Because
when she asks for her Tasha's coffee while you're shopping at Woolies on the weekends, say no.
Yeah. Just so that she can hear that at stages,
yes,
it's okay to hear no,
yes.
and tarot cards are not okay, and going, partying until you're 23 at Rhodes and then going to do a yoga course for 6 months does not make you the Dalai Lama's daughter. Do you know what I mean? Like, this might be sexist. I don't know. Like, maybe this is why I'm a bachelor. I've got no, you know what I mean?
I've realized I've had a lot of sort of sexism and feminism conversations over the last couple of days.
Okay.
Had a great conversation about feminism and third wave feminism.
Oh, that's like COVID.
2 days ago. No, it was actually interesting. I don't want to give my views on what feminine is on
you
the
shouldn't.
show.
No, and also you have not done any of the theory. You and I should not be giving like those.
Exactly.
We just know sport.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? I shouldn't talk for you. I'm just a meathead. Like, I'm never gonna pretend I'll ever be smart enough to operate on a small child who's dying. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We are just a bunch of meatheads. I'll leave that to the thinkers. Thank you very much.
It's all up to you guys.
But as a meathead, I will call you out with very little understanding of context. And the tarot card reading, good-looking girls, stop it. Stop it. Get off Instagram. Let's tell them no. Push back. Now, are there guys doing that? Lots of them. Push back on them as well. Push back on them as well. But I feel like there's a purple patch of people that really have never heard no before.
Absolutely.
And I won't stand for it. Because you know what? I'm a Taurus.
We can't push back on the guys that are like that, because most of the time the guys that are like that are generally pretty jacked, and I won't last a second.
Having said that, we actually do need to push back on the guys as well, because you know what they end up doing? All guys that do that, 99.9% of them start a cult, and mostly it's just about sleeping with beautiful women. So maybe we should push back on all of them.
Yes. Okay, fine.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Yeah, because actually, so no one's better. I've just thought about it now, because every time a guy is, let me teach you how to get in touch with your spirituality, he just wants to sleep with a whole bunch of women at a retreat in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay? Always heads
Absolutely.
that way.
In the middle of Lord knows what.
Yeah. And he's always some, you know, and it eventually...
And he's got a man bun.
Okay, so, given. So we need to call out every single person who ever says an Aquarius shouldn't date a Pisces or whatever, you know?
So here's what I'm going to do.
I knew I didn't see sex. I knew it, James. I knew I was perfect.
No, but that's your problem. You can't say you don't see sex and you don't see color.
Yes.
You have to see those things.
Oh, okay.
That's your problem.
Oh, my God, you're so right. I am such a Taurus. Do you know what it is? It's the Chelsea thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are actually a sports show. James.
Hi.
Magnificent to have you here.
It's great to be
Magnificent to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, every Monday, I do something called where MKT was right, where MKT was wrong. Hit us with that music, James, and let's get into it. We'll talk a little bit about Pep Guardiola as well in a little bit. But as I do every Monday, where I was right, where I was wrong. Let's start off with where I was right. Chelsea, the winning DNA. Listen, I told you, the business model, this idea, and people always whinge, particularly you hear it from Man United fans, that the manager's always changing at Chelsea. You'll never be successful. Told you, the business model's Roman Abramovich. There's more ways to skin a cat than one, right? A million ways to skin a cat. Abramovich is the business model. The manager is useless. Thomas Tuchel, probably gone in a year. Doesn't win the league next season, probably gone. Even if he does, 18 months, max, I give him. Where I was dead right. Chelsea has a winning DNA. If you haven't seen it, over the last 20 years, they've won 17 major trophies. City are next on 13. And then it's a bunch of who cares with the rest. Where I was wrong. Jorginho delivered in a big game. Now, still not a fan. Still hoping it was his last game for Chelsea. But he's been magnificent in the Champions League. Really, especially in the big games. I'm not a fan. I don't like the lack of athleticism. The technical ability is useful in Europe, but we've seen it in the Premier League now. When you look at 38 games, that ain't it. He isn't technically good enough, right, for the sacrifice you make in terms of the physicality. But I live with it. And I was wrong. He delivered. He was incredible. He dominated that midfield on the weekend. Where I was right, Mason Mount is the best youngster England have. Champions League, incredibly disciplined, incredibly careful with the ball. And ultimately, sport is about moments. Kai Havertz did the easy part. That first time ping, by the way, by Mason Mount, that is eye of a needle stuff. Sensational through ball, and that's high level. He's 22. Mason Mount is the best youngster England have. He's been Chelsea's best player this season by a country mile. At that age, to carry that club on his back, he took Chelsea on his own to a top 4 last season and has been incredible this season. I was dead right. I said he's the best youngster England have, without a shadow of a doubt. Where I was wrong, Gareth Bale to Spurs was a disaster. Now, I think where I was right, I said he'll be the biggest star in the league because he just has that profile. Where I was wrong was Gareth Bale's half the player he was before he went to Real Madrid. And I've said it before. Don't ever go back to your ex-girlfriend. The reason you left will always exist. Bale is too big for Spurs. And Spurs realize now, you weren't the guy you were when you left. It's getting ugly now. Let him go back to Real Madrid. And I was dead wrong there. I was wrong on the Gareth Bale thing. I thought he'd be the best player in the league. I thought maybe player of the season. But it just didn't work. And he's a little soft, Gareth Bale. Zidane, fallout. Mourinho, fallout. A little soft. See, I don't like soft people. There's some stuff going on with Naomi Osaka right now. Again, I'm just a meathead. Right? I don't care what part of society you come from. I don't like brats. I don't. And brat doesn't need to be rich, by the way. There's brats everywhere. I encounter them in my life everywhere. I don't like soft people. Now, maybe there's something wrong with me, but I don't like soft people. Don't be soft around me. Gareth Bale. Ugh. Marshmallow. Ugh. Hate it. And you're a millionaire? Why be soft? Where I was right, Spurs have a loser DNA. They do. They have a loser DNA. How you fire a manager before the final of a trophy? Seriously. For goodness sake, if you want things in life, you have to sacrifice. And I guess we live in this time, right? Maybe Daniel Levy is succumbing to it. We don't sacrifice anymore. People don't sacrifice. And again, you know what? I was raised by an extremely disciplined father. So I'm not for everybody. I get that. But I've read listen, a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine, and I'm a chapter through, recommended the Netflix book. I see why they're successful. If the culture's wrong, I heard a beautiful saying on a podcast I was listening to this morning, right? Culture eats strategy for breakfast. I don't care what Spurs' strategy and your beautiful stadium and the business model. I don't care. What's the culture? Culture eats strategy for breakfast. And the culture's a loser mentality at Spurs. Loser. Everything about it is just, you know what it actually reminds me of? And I work with young people now. It reminds me of a lot of young people that I see now. They always want to tell you how they feel. I actually don't care. What are you doing? So stop telling me how you feel. I don't care. Stop telling me how you feel. What are you doing? Spurs can tell me about their new stadium and the partnership with the NFL. But in life, we are the things we do, not the things we say. And what they're doing is showing me that they have a loser mentality. And I hate to say I was right, but if they go back to Pochettino, I was dead right. In life, the successful and where there's self-worth, you move on in life. People's self-worth, do you know what? They irk most of us. You know why? Because they don't need you, you need them. And when you have no self-worth, no self-belief, you're like Spurs, you go crawling back to Maurizio Pochettino. Loser DNA. I was dead right there, Spurs. Where I was wrong, Atletico Madrid. They've done it. Just an incredible, incredible season. Diego Simeone is incredible. When he came, Atletico Madrid finished 7th and 9th the 2 seasons before he arrived. They have not finished outside of the top 3 since. I think it's 9 years later. When you think of the resources, it's half the resources. People keep telling me how great Arsene Wenger was at Arsenal. Sorry, folks. This guy's been incredible. Got them to a Champions League final and is a Sergio Ramos miracle header away from delivering the goods. And he's destabilized the big 2 twice now. This is a far better job. And within the business model, they haven't dropped out of the top 3. And they built the Metropolitana. I think that's a nicer stadium than the Emirates. You have to be honest. You have to be honest and say they've done an incredible job at Atletico Madrid. But without him, it's not possible. That intensity, that fire, the underdog. And what I love about him, folks, and this is why, you know, especially now you'll hear with James and his drum circle and yoga friends, find a partner that's perfect for you. Rubbish. That doesn't exist. If you're a grown-up, you know this. What you do is you find somebody with sort of core traits to you, right? And you make it work with them. And my God, he is the embodiment of Atletico Madrid. Underdog, fighter, will not give in. He will not give in. And by the way, lots of stars will struggle there. You know why? It's about us. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Man, you got to love it. And I was wrong. I thought Barcelona would actually come through and take it, especially once the Champions League folded. Atletico Madrid, shout out. Where I was right, Paul Pogba, invisible again in a big game, on the big stage. It's Bruno or bust. Listen. It's not just once now. I don't know. Pogba, of course, the cult is either you love him or you hate him. I'm either way on Paul Pogba. I've seen lots of talented people in life throw it away. I'm either way. Is he incredibly talented? Yes. But cometh the hour, cometh the man. And again now. Again. It's 6 years, right? I've seen what I need to see. Marquisio, Vidal, Pirlo, they take care of you. And you get there. And even then, Champions League final with those great 3 in midfield. Pogba shrank. And they lost with Juventus. So, I've seen what I need to see. It's Bruno or bust. I understand they're looking for 500,000K. Now, what you need to keep in mind with Paul Pogba, and don't dismiss this, he's a massive, massive economic draw. Massive. You've got to give that to Paul Pogba. He's built that. I don't hate that. I love it. Smart, intelligent, good decisions, good agent. give that to Pogba. Just talking about football now. I mean, that was embarrassing. Danny Parejo dominated him. Danny Parejo couldn't outrun my chair. If I pushed the chair down the road, superb technically. But Paul Pogba was embarrassed by Danny Parejo. Sorry. And he's got help. McTominay was incredible in that game. Bruno had an off night. He's not an android. Can't be perfect every single night. Paul Pogba, just pitch up. I'm not saying you got to come there and produce a sort of all-time Zidane performance in the World Cup 98. Yeah, that's not what... Pogba just needed to be at a 7 out of 10. Do something. You can't have Pogba needing to be taken off in a final. Right? Here's what happens is when everything disappears ultimately and it's just about the football, then the ballers come out, dude. Then the ballers come out. Danny Parejo was incredible. If you didn't watch that game, just go and watch it for a midfield masterclass. And Pogba was invisible. Sorry, I was dead right. Pogba, let him go now. What I do if I'm Man United now, give him a new deal and ship him on. Because it's going to be difficult to sell him with only 1 year left on the contract. I'd give him the new deal to secure the asset and then start shopping him. And if you don't sell him this season, that's okay. You sell him next season. There'll be plenty of takers. The nice thing about talented people, and I spoke about this a little bit earlier with the Aquarius dilemma, right? Is that talent, beautiful people will always give them more opportunities in life. We'll give them less pushback. And Pogba is that big, handsome, social media, the guy at Adidas. Give him that. You've got to give him that. Do not for a second think that's not deliberate, and you must congratulate him on doing that. But I saw against Villarreal, Spain's 7th best team, him be dominated by a guy who couldn't outrun my chair. It's embarrassing. And you had Bruno, and McTominay probably gave the performance of the season. So all you had to do was pitch up. Pogba again, invisible. I was dead right there. I'd move on. Where I was wrong, Unai Emery. After Emery left Arsenal, I thought it was him. I thought, you've got all the resources. You've got this, you got that, you got the other. Folks, men lie, women lie, numbers, they don't lie. Are you aware that he's been in 4 Europa League finals? Never lost a single one. The only time he lost was Arsenal. The only time he lost was Arsenal. So that's all I'm saying. There's a common denominator in losing. It's not Unai Emery. Why is it? He's at the 7th best team in England, or in Spain, and he beats the 2nd best team in England. You tell me. I was wrong on Unai Emery. It wasn't Emery, it's Arsenal. They Tottenham on a budget with a nicer stadium. And not even that anymore. Unai Emery, shout out to you. Good evening. I was dead wrong. Where I was right, Arsenal are finished. Arsenal are finished. I read somewhere that they are going to offer Granit Xhaka a new deal. Now, I may be wrong. I've heard perhaps moves to Roma. What are you doing? If you give Xhaka a new deal, you're going to be 8th again next season. You've had your 4 seasons now with Xhaka. This is what he is. It's 5th to 8th. Let it go. You can be terrible without Xhaka. You can be terrible without Xhaka. And I'm sorry, I've seen enough now. The evidence tells me you sign Pepe, you sign Tierney, you sign Partey, you sign Aubameyang. All of them are low character. Sorry, I like Tierney, but if you, he's got some character, but he's injured. I can't have you be injured or be low character. Where are the leaders? Where's the culture? Told you, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Arsenal have neither. No culture and no strategy. What is the plan at Arsenal? What is the plan? Pepe for £70 million doesn't look planned to me. Now, you can say what you want about Timo Werner and Ziyech. Are you aware that both of them cost less than Pepe alone? But say what you want. Timo Werner gives Chelsea cut and thrust, and he's stretching defenses. I don't know what's going on at Arsenal. Thomas Partey didn't solve anything. He cost £50 million. 50! And you still came 8th. It's embarrassing. Arsenal are done. Lastly, where I was wrong, I thought UEFA couldn't get dumber. I mean, I wanted to say for this one that I thought people couldn't get dumber, but people have been pretty consistent for the last 4,000 to 5,000 years. But I thought UEFA could not get dumber. If you have not seen, because I took a proper look this week at the new Champions League and European format, what on the third rock from the sun called Earth is going on there? It is the dumbest thing one has ever seen. Folks, in life, it is about urgency. We don't need more. This idea that more is better, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if it's our society, sort of conspicuous consumption, but I don't know what it's about. You know why the NFL is so incredible? Every game matters. Major League Baseball and the NBA are struggling because 82 regular season games, 148, it was a shortened season, 168, in Major League Baseball. The games don't matter. More in sport is the enemy. It is the enemy because what you need in sport is urgency. This game has to matter. 38 games in the Premier League. Home, away, boy oh boy. And you're seeing now 5 losses in the Premier League and you're done. There's no way you're winning the league anymore. It's just gone to that level. The Champions League is becoming a joke. It is becoming a joke. We may have seen the last proper of it. I'm all for innovation. I'm all for it. This is not innovation. Change for the sake of change is an awful idea. Hey, if you're some dum-dum now and you're with a lady who's just solid, but you saw somebody at work and you met her and you think, ugh, her tummy's a little bit flatter. You know, her hair's a little bit more blonde. Her dreads are a little thicker. Don't be dumb. You don't leave a good relationship for a sideways move. Don't be stupid. And UEFA have shown me they are the biggest dum-dums. But ultimately, as society, this is what we voted for. You went on Twitter and said the billionaires are the idiots. They're the conference division. I mean, honestly speaking, I may go for a tarot reading this morning after reading what the conference division actually is. A tarot card reading, right, for me as a Taurus, is more useful than whatever this conference league is. It'll be more useful in my life. I'm going to go. I'm a Taurus. By the way, if you do tarot card readings out there, I'm a Taurus and I'm 35 now. And I'm wearing an orange top today, by the way. I don't know. Like, that's how dumb UEFA are. That's how stupid they sound with this new conference league. James, the conference league might be the dumbest thing on this planet. And listen, we've just spent 20 minutes calling out tarot card readers and chakra people.
Chakra people.
Have you seen the Champions League format going forward?
So I've tried to look into it because obviously that applies to my job. But I can't find anything that makes sense to me. It's like someone's trying to explain the away goal rule to me at the age of 10.
Yeah.
That's how confused I am with this whole thing. Because, also with the away goal rule, it's only if you score with your left foot does it count for 1 goal, and then it's confusing. They're also removing that, by the way.
They're talking about changing it, which again makes no sense. It's a great rule.
But overall, I have no clue how the conference works at all.
You know what it's like? Because James is a terrible Afrikaans person and hates rugby, which is why his family moved 1,200 kilometers away from him.
Sure.
It's why Super Rugby died. Because there came a stage, by the way, in Super Rugby where I'm a hardcore rugby fan. I had no idea at a stage how you qualified for the playoffs. Like, even after going through it and trying to understand it. And listen, I watch Major League Baseball. That's how much I love sport. I'm an avid baseball fan. That is one of the most boring sports in the world, and I follow it intently. Rugby, eventually, if you ask any Super Rugby fan what it took to actually get into the playoffs, right? I'm a hardcore fan, and it's my job to know this. And I had no clue after 3 years of the conference thing. Like, no clue. No, I had no idea what was happening in Super Rugby. That's why it's over now. That's what's going on with the Champions League. Why do you want to make it complicated for me? Do you know why Netflix wins? I open my laptop, I go to netflix.com, I click documentary, and I just click on my documentary. Whatever it may be, right? There's no complications of I've got to make out with a frog from the southern region of France before Netflix opens up part of the documentary options.
So what do you understand about this conference and how it works stage-wise?
What I understand is that it is the stupidest thing ever, right? Ever. This includes frisbees. And I do like a frisbee, but I mean...
Does it include...
Pineapple on pizza.
Yes.
It's dumber than that.
Does it include... I have one. Does it include... You know when you buy rubbish bags, it comes with a bag around the bags. And then you have to throw that little bag that carries the rubbish bags in the bin once you put a new bin bag in. Is it as stupid as that little bag around the rubbish
There are
bags?
some bad ideas. We do need to brainstorm that one a little bit. Hey, yeah, that's a good one, James. We do need to brainstorm that. But what's the solution to that?
What, the rubbish bag thing or
Yeah.
the conference league?
Some might say, great analogy, James. Some might say both
Because they
are
both
actually
are rubbish.
are actually rubbish. UEFA, hey, in your analogy, UEFA are the bag which contains the rubbish bags.
Yes. Yes.
Because now there's going to be Latvian teams, like Spurs now are going to have to go to some Latvian team on like a Friday night. Or when are they going to fit it in?
Again, so is it knockouts from the start, group stages? How does it work? Honestly, when I tell you I've been trying to find out, because I knew this was going to come up on the show at some point. When I tell you I've been trying to read everything I can to know what's going on.
Okay, let's
Not
do
a
it.
clue.
Let's do it, James. Okay, so now when do league games usually happen?
Weekends.
Okay, so that's Saturday, Sunday, maybe Friday sometimes.
Yeah, maybe Monday Night Football, maybe Friday Night Football. Yeah.
So when are UEFA fitting in? Because Tottenham are top 10 biggest attractions,
Yes.
probably in world sport.
So that is something I do know. So the conference games are going to be played on the Thursday nights, the same nights as the Europa League.
That makes even so. What you're doing is now you're diluting the Europa League even more. So now what are they going to play them in the afternoon?
I have no idea.
This
Because
is what
also, like, think about it, TV rights. You're going to have, I was going to say Arsenal, but they're not in the Europa League. You have whatever team that's playing against whatever team in the Europa League. Let's say in the group stages for the first week of the Europa League, you have 5 or 6 groups playing. Okay? So that's like 10 games, roughly. TV-wise, how are you because networks don't have infinite amount of channels, so how are the TV rights working?
No, that's not my problem. Like Sky and whatever, they got enough channels. I only have 2 eyes. So, okay, let's say I'm a Leicester fan now.
Yeah.
But I'm a football fan as well, right? And I'm a West Ham fan. But I also want to watch Tottenham. I want to see what Harry Kane's up to. Son. I want to see what these guys are up to, right? Hugo Lloris. I want to see what they're up to. When are you putting the game on so I can watch? Let's say Leicester are in, I don't know, Valencia's group. Did Valencia come 4th in La Liga? Whoever. Let's just hypothetically say.
Villarreal came 7th.
Seventh.
Oh wait, they're going.
They'll be in the Champions League. Yeah. So don't worry about them. But let's just say.
Sevilla.
Yeah. I think they might be in the top 4. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's hypothetically say Sevilla are now in the Europa League and Leicester get Sevilla in the Europa League.
Yeah.
That is an awesome group. And then maybe you get, I don't know, just like a Mönchengladbach or whoever came top 6 in Germany. Right? They're in the group. So now, as a football fan, I'm a Tottenham fan, but now I can't watch Leicester Sevilla. That is an awesome game, by the way. How is that good for European product? Who's making these decisions? So the games are on Thursdays. We need to find out when. This is madness. This is absolute madness. But this is what happens when you let people who are not businessmen. Because Seferin is not a businessman. He's a pen pusher. Less. Sport is about less. I'm telling you. You know how every single douchebag says less is more. No, they're right in this case. Less is more in sport. Less is always more, dude. In sport. Urgency.
It's essentially like the Super League on a smaller scale, actually, because actually it's like the Super League but for worse teams, because one of the main complaints about the Super League was the fact that, you know, the Champions League is this institution that has elite teams, and, you know, kids at the age of 8 dream of lifting the Champions League trophy for their club and blah blah blah. And it's this whole thing, right? It's the whole romanticism about football and the fairy tale and all that stuff. It's the elitism of football, if that's a word. But the Conference League is now this smaller breakaway league for the less elitisms of football. Like, we complained that they were changing football in this massive way, which they were. But now they're introducing a new league that no one asked for again. Like, no one asked for the Super League or for this conference thing. I've got it.
Let's hear it.
Arsene Wenger works for UEFA.
Yes.
He knows Arsenal's terrible at the moment. He tried to come up with a concept for Arsenal to play in Europe again.
And he proceeded to get Tottenham in.
Yeah. It
backfired.
First time jitters, maybe? I don't know.
He's not perfect. Our professor is not perfect. That's solid. Because that's not any crazier than the Conference League being a real thing. Like what you're saying, isn't it crazy that what you're saying actually doesn't sound that ridiculous compared to the fact that Tottenham are now... Because here's what's going to happen. Tottenham aren't going to play their best team in that.
No.
They got something called the Premier League to focus on.
Yeah. They've got something called the FA Cup to focus on.
So what team is going to play their best players in the Conference League?
Well, I mean, if you're playing like Trabzonspor on a Thursday night, you're not really going to go out there and put Kane on the field and Son on the... You're going to put like Lo Celso and those kind of...
Yeah.
Because you have Man United on the Saturday. Or, you know...
It makes no sense. But as people, all right, whenever people... This is why not everyone should get to vote. When you make a decision in life, always... I don't mind. People got what they wanted, right? The football fans got what they wanted. Now you have to live with all of the consequences. I don't want to hear people complaining about the Conference League now, right? I can complain because I said I wanted the Super League, right? Now, live with all of UEFA's consequences. You said the football culture and UEFA care about football and the players. Great. James, one of these people. And James, you're going to have to live with it now, crying in the fetal position in the shower, right? Now live with it. Swallow the bitter pill that is called Seferin and UEFA and pen pushers.
Just got to hope and pray that Liverpool never finish... What place did Tottenham? Seventh.
And it was close this season.
It was.
Oh, man.
Jurgen got manager of the month for May because of taking Liverpool from...
26 of 30 points.
Yeah.
Old Jurgen.
That's incredible stuff, huh? Like, terrible season, pretty good finish. Came third. I'm pretty pleased.
Are you?
I would have been... Like, it's slightly disappointing to go from champions to such a struggling season. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans would have been very, very pleased with, like, a second or another Premier League.
Tommy, what are your thoughts for next season as a Liverpool fan? Are you going to take some time to decompress? Because obviously you're an Aquarius, hey, James? And you need a bit of time.
I need to just, I need to speak to my cards.
Oh, that's... Just protect yourself.
know?
Because COVID changed everything. And it's probably made you more self-aware how you've neglected yourself.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Okay, but let's deal with all of that in a context where football matters. Is what's not tolerable next season for you as a Liverpool fan? Like, let's say right now, I offer you, you get to the last 16 and get knocked out, and you come third in the league and you don't win another trophy with Jurgen. Thoughts?
Decent-ish season,
Mm-hmm.
but the place that Liverpool are in right now, I think it's important for them, to be the Liverpool that won the Premier League and be the Liverpool that won the Champions League. I think it's been a tough year. COVID changed everything. No, we've had an immense amount of key injuries. Stuff hasn't gelled at the club, and I think maybe it was just a bad season. I've got a relatively good feeling about next season. We got Van Dijk back. We've got a replacement centre back who I watched highlights of this weekend, and good lord, that Ibrahima Konate dude.
Yep.
That man is like Virgil van Dijk,
Wow.
but like 10 years younger. Just the way he tackles people and the way he reads the ball, to like go in for the safe tackle and not the penalty. So I think
38-0. You guys are going 38-0 next season. If you've got Van Dijk and his Wunderkind body double, you guys aren't losing next season. What you got to do is, Trent, though. Trent Alexander-Arnold could not defend a piggy bank with an AK-47. That's the only thing. What do you do there?
I'm less concerned about Trent and more concerned about our midfield. Because, yes, we've got players that can play literally anywhere, like James Milner and kind of Fabinho.
But you don't have a genie in a bottle anymore.
Exactly. We don't have.
Shout out Christina Aguilera.
There you go. We don't have a genie. Naby Keita's always injured.
70 mil, another horrible purchase.
Divock Origi, not a midfielder, but also kind of a player that can play in a lot of positions, but also not really been anywhere since I think our Champions League season. I don't know. I think we need to bolster a couple of positions. I think every season we're guaranteed at least 20 goals.
So now, are you saying you're okay with Trent? Do you think maybe 3 at the back next season? Because you've seen now, teams know now, just put like a tricky, pacey winger on Trent. No matter what he delivers at the other end, whatever, we don't care. He's such a liability defending. Do you think maybe go 3 at the back next season? If you're Liverpool, or what's your mindset there? Because I'm not being funny, that's a real concern for me if I'm a Liverpool fan. Like, I like Trent, but this season, you saw Reece James in the final, right?
I did.
That's the difference. And Reece James can take the corners and do all of that stuff. Like, you saw. Raheem Sterling, I don't care what you say, that is a handful of a player.
You know what I think would be interesting to see Liverpool try and do, and I've been wanting to see it since I saw it in action for the first time this season. Manchester City, and I doubt that they only used it this season. They've probably used it, and I've just not noticed. But I think it's Manchester City where they play 3 at the back, and then their 2 wing backs are actually placed in the midfield.
Oh yeah, it's called inversion. The inverted wing backs. So you'd like Trent in the mix there.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting to see, because Trent's strengths may not be one-on-one defending, but I know he's certainly able to control an entire area in terms of passing, movement of the ball, switching the play to the other side of the field. So I think maybe, Robertson's capable of it too. Robertson can
he's a
ping
monster.
a ball
across
the field.
That's not a concern. In fact, I'm concerned about Van Dijk because such a big part of his game is athleticism. I've had an ACL operation. Trust me. The only guy I've ever seen come back from an ACL properly is Samuel Eto'o. And he's got Cameroonian genes. Virgil's soft-ass Dutch guy.
Oh,
the Juju in Cameroon. I've been to Cameroon, by the way, in the jungles with the gorillas. They're different people. There's no Juju in Holland.
How would it work, though? So it would be 3 at the back.
Oh, what, Juju?
No.
Oh, sorry.
I don't need to know how your Juju works.
No.
Thanks.
my grandmother was vendor. We're all about it.
It would be 3 at the back, right? Or 2 at the back?
3 at the back. I'd go 3 centre-back. So Gomez, Virgil and Konate at the back.
And then
Henderson.
Robertson,
No. Well, yeah, Robertson left. Trent on the right. Because now,
how many midfielders do you have to play with? 2.
Fabinho and Henderson, great athleticism, both technically all right.
Okay.
And then you play the front 3.
Would it be like a diamond shape?
No. Just the 2, kind of like how Man United play now.
Oh, so it would be like a straight 4?
Yeah. No, 3 at the back.
Yeah.
The 2 wing backs higher up, almost as left and right midfielder. Because now you've got the extra centre back And Virgil can step into midfield, you know,
easily. Dude.
So he can carry the ball out, and you've got the athleticism to cover for Trent in Henderson and Fabinho. That's what I do. Look, so you reckon what? Top 4 not negotiable, hey?
I think
top 2, top 3 not negotiable.
Yeah, I was about to say top 2, top 3 not negotiable at all. I think at least teams are becoming competitive.
Because Salah signed a new deal, I saw, huh?
He did.
I think that that's tough.
But that's why I say we're guaranteed 20 goals every season, because although he does have his moments where even Liverpool fans are very irritated, he does have his moments where he's off form or he's selfish or he costs something in the game.
Sure.
He's scored us 20 goals in the last, I think 4 seasons now.
Look,
roughly.
Talk to me about this on the Salah thing. Is that it is a little bit of a sort of double dilemma there. Is the fact that he's never seen his own half in a football match, right? Is now you got the Trent problem. It's exacerbated. I think part of Robertson's success, as good as he is as an individual, is that Sadio Mane, for a superstar, is one of the most selfless players I've ever seen. Like Carlos Tevez was like this, and Rooney had this in him as well. Was that superstar level achievement, but Mane is so disciplined. It's what I love about Mason Mount as well, is he's had 2 really good seasons, but again, I love that disciplined kind of notion. Is Salah leaves Trent on an island, is you actually need somehow to figure out, can we get another right-sided guy and maybe play Salah up front? What do you think of that? Because Firmino just doesn't have the pace and the trickery, right, to play out wide. What do? You can't have both. Not anymore. You need to do something about the Trent situation, because now everyone knows as well, is if you isolate him and the big switch one-on-one with a winger, it is toast.
I don't think you need to do much about the Trent situation. He's had a terrible season. Everybody's seen that. He's sort of picked it up towards the end, but so did all of the players. I think Trent's fortunate in the fact that he's young and he's surrounded by pros at Liverpool.
Got you.
Jordan Henderson, James Milner, Fabinho can even be thrown in there. And I think him being surrounded by that at such a young age and seeing that maybe this season wasn't his greatest, you know, I think he would be more susceptible to sort of learning and, you know, maybe, I don't know how it works, but maybe having a conversation with Milner and saying, oh, so last season I messed up against Aston Villa and that happened, and what would be the best sort of thing, or working with the defensive coaches, or, you know, I don't think Trent is as much of an issue as you make him out to be. I think it was just a bad season, which all players are capable of.
Sure.
He's still young. He's surrounded by incredible talent and pros and coaches at Liverpool.
So the dynasty's back on, is what I'm hearing you say,
No.
James. Hey, roll back the good old days. 2 years ago, we were unstoppable. Hey, let the good times roll. Champions League. You're doing the double next year, from what you said.
I'd love to do the double.
Champions League double. It's a given. I mean, you're saying not a problem. Plus, you said you got basically a younger Van Dijk to play with Van Dijk. Plus, you're going to get Gomez, who's only people forget he's only 21 still. Oh, get out of here. Dynasty loading, James.
I haven't been reading the comments during this whole conversation, and I'm scared to go back to
Dynasty loading. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. James Jimbo Illingsley, fantastic beard, going to make his mom furious. He doesn't care, though, because according to him, and this is breaking news, Liverpool have a dynasty loading. It doesn't matter. Trent can't defend one-on-one. Really should be an under 6 defender. Doesn't matter. Get that the hell out of here. We've got the new Virgil van Dijk and the real Virgil van Dijk playing. And Jordan Henderson is apparently Steven Gerrard mixed with N'Golo Kante. Doesn't matter. Dynasty loading. Mo Salah guarantees you 20 goals a season. Going to happen again next season. Sadio Mane will be back. Forget it. Thiago Silva or Thiago Alcantara will settle. James, you should, from what you've said, you should. Plus your goalkeeper scoring headers.
Oh, dude.
Are Liverpool going to go undefeated next season?
You know what's actually going to happen?
We need to ask that question now.
Alisson's actually going to be in contention for Golden Boot next season.
He's going to take sweeper keeper to a new level.
Yes. Yeah.
You got to say to yourself, at this stage, and from everything you've said, and we need to start the storyline, are Liverpool going to be the second Invincibles ever, from what you've said. 2 Van Dijks and Alisson, who's a sweeper, keeper, support striker. Trent Alexander-Arnold is Danny Alves reincarnated. I mean, we've got Thierry Henry on the left.
Look,
Egyptian Thierry Henry guarantees you 20 goals in the league.
they are very clearly capable of doing it. They
gosh.
almost did.
They're going undefeated next
They
season.
almost did.
James,
dude.
Liverpool are going undefeated next season, dude.
Watch it happen. That's my boys. Nice. Go Liverpool, dude. Go
Dude,
Liverpool.
Liverpool are going undefeated. Ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. Go Liverpool, man.
James, that's such a powerful thing to kind of have to deal with. I
You
need
know
a
what
break.
I'm doing? You know
I
what
need
I'm
a
doing?
break.
Wait, before we go break, you know what I'm doing? I'm putting it out into the universe and aligning my chakras.
It's good energy.
It does happen.
Good energy, dude. Once you say the words, they're out in the universe
Exactly.
now. Oh my gosh. James, what's your star sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
It shows. All right, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, really looking forward to Liverpool going undefeated. They might even win the Bundesliga. They're going to win the Champions League and the Premier League so early. Hey, let's send over a second team to Germany and maybe win the Bundesliga as well.
They're also going to win the Europa Conference League.
While you're at it, send the Liverpool under 19s to go represent.
Easy. We can beat Transbusspor.
You know, it's a great name for a band. 2 Van Dijks and an Alexander.
2 Van Dijks.
And a Trent.
Yeah, I don't think you can say and Alexander. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
A Trent and the Van Dijks.
Trent and the Van Dijks, yes.
Shout out to that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, big breaking news. James Jimbo Illingsley, a man who's beloved in Vietnam. In fact, the second best Illsley even in Vietnam has broken this news.
Correct.
Liverpool, undefeated next season.
Absolutely. Winning the Champions League. We're actually going to do the treble. My sources tell me we're doing the treble.
That's awesome. All right, this is the MKT Show, a sports show.
We are a sports show.
A podcast which can be found anywhere you like. CliffCentral.com, Cliff Central app, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you find your podcasts. Remember, the podcast is the MKT Show. Ladies and gentlemen, for now, this is the MKT Show. See you in a bit. So why should I believe Man United will have a plan for the next decade? You are the things you do, not the things we say. You can tell me all the nice things Ollie comes out and says on Sky Sport. But the reality is, I'm afraid people don't change. The Glazers don't really have a plan. It's just, we'll throw money at it, we'll throw a Paul Pogba at it every now and then. Because really, Bruno Fernandes and Pogba are so far apart if you've got a plan. It almost makes no sense because they really both want to dominate the ball. They really, like, if we're being honest, that was haphazard. That wasn't a plan. You fell into Bruno Fernandes. You gamble 5-6 more times, I'll tell you what happens. Di Maria happens. Schweinsteiger happens. Like those, what's the plan? And at Liverpool, again, is Jurgen Klopp the plan? There's only one Jurgen Klopp. There is only one Jurgen Klopp. What happens when he leaves? And you speak to Liverpool fans, they don't even want to think about it. As a Chelsea fan, honestly, if Chelsea win the FA Cup and Champions League, I don't care if Tuchel gets fired at the end of the season. Is Marina going to be there? And is Abramovich going to be there? Oh, okay, great. Whoever comes in, it's well known that you got to win. At Liverpool, we don't know. We don't know what happens when Klopp leaves. You got to have some self-worth and don't be needy. And Manchester City and Chelsea are the only clubs in England right now who want to win and are not needy. The MKT Show. Welcome back to it, sports fans. Welcome back to it. Feels good to be a Chelsea fan right now. Huge Champions League winners again. They said City will pump us 5. They said, can't wait.
I was one of those people.
Man City are going to give you 5.
I was one of those people.
This is what they said.
Nice. Good stuff.
They're unbeatable. You know, I said, okay, but we've beaten them the last 2 times we played them. Who cares? What are you going to do when it matters?
Win.
That's what the haters said.
And that's what you did. I was one of the haters.
Shout out my homegirl, Taylor Swift. Haters going, hey.
Please don't ever do that again.
Shout out to her, dude.
That was the single most horrible experience of my entire life.
I mean, as a hater, I can understand. Only Taylor Swift and I can understand.
Haters going hate.
What an awesome time to be a Chelsea fan. What an awesome time to be alive.
Good stuff, man.
Just great to be. If you are joining us on YouTube, please click like. That's the up thumb. It's that one. If you don't like the show, just click like anyway. If you want the podcast, cliffcentral.com, Cliff Central app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Still on Google Podcasts, huh, James?
Yes, sir.
Some news in the break. James, maybe you want to tell us about Arsenal. A lot of Arsenal fans getting very emotional. Listen, the bookies are really smart people. Every single year, Las Vegas is putting up new buildings, and that is not with winners' money, by the way. So these people know what they're doing. Some breaking news with Arsenal. The odds are out for next year. James, why don't you give us Arsenal's odds for winning the league and for getting relegated? What are the odds for them winning the league?
So their odds for winning the league is 66
to 1.
to 1.
Shot.
Which is okay.
It's what you call long odds for those of you in the gambling world. James, no clue what's going on there.
It's okay. However, their odds of being relegated are higher. So is that.
What are their odds for getting relegated?
50 to 1.
50 to 1, huh? Sure.
That does mean their odds are higher, right? Of being relegated.
Yeah. No, it's... wow. That is incredible. So there's longer odds on them winning the league.
Yeah.
Basically, if you don't understand gambling, you're going to put down 66 pounds, all right? Or 1 pound versus 66 pounds. That's what's going on there.
Wow.
You'll get 1 back free. What they're telling you is that Arsenal are unlikely to win the league. What they're telling you, though, is we'll give you some better odds on them getting relegated.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shout out.
That's how they work.
Wow.
Sorry for you guys.
Arsenal fans, feelings hurt there, huh?
Must suck to be an Arsenal fan.
Sure, but in fairness, it's been 20 years now. Like if they, you know what it is? It's like the people who complain that their girlfriend or boyfriend, after being in a relationship with them for 5 years and getting drunk on Sunday nights, they complain that they drink too much. Like no, I don't want to hear it.
Are you saying they should be used to it?
Yes. Do you have any of these friends? Like, I don't know. Like drinking's maybe, I always go to that one as an extreme example, but like if somebody has a selfish girlfriend or boyfriend, I don't know if you have this partner, and then 3 years later, they're still whinging about it. Like he's so selfish. Do you know what I mean? Or I don't know, whatever trait it is that makes someone upset.
Yeah.
Eventually there comes a time in life, all right, where you need to be angry with yourself, right? Because they being who they are, right? You should be angry at yourself for expecting them to be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? There has to come that time in life.
I do know that all too well. You have no idea.
Yeah. So it looks like you have a personal experience with what I'm saying.
Yes.
So, but that has to happen in life, right? Is stop getting upset at people for being who they are. Get upset at yourself for expecting them to change. People are who they are. Oh, James. Oh, no. James, are you saying you've been hurt and that's why you're so closed off? It's painful. It's painful. It's painful to listen to. All right. James Jimbo Illingsley, a brooding, sensitive man.
Doesn't brooding mean you...
Let's hear it. James, you have to say the rest of the sentence. By the way, folks, sorry, before James tells us what brooding means, one of my favorite parts of the day is when James says, have you heard of... It really makes my day every single day when that potential arises. or when James wants to explain something to me. Now, I'm not the smartest guy, so it's a good thing for me, James. The word brooding, your thoughts on exactly what it means and what guys with tweed blazers might call it at Oxford.
Isn't brooding when you're ready to have a baby?
That's brooding, huh? Brooding is...
Isn't
okay,
it?
I'd like to know from people in the comments.
Oh, no, that's not.
No. So let's say it out loud.
I realized what the other one
James,
was.
James, please. You've said what you've said now. It's on the internet forever. Ladies and gentlemen, James Ilsley. His mom grafted her fingers to the bone for years, dropped them off year after year after year at one of the biggest, not even biggest, at one of the best academic institutions on planet Earth. She did that for 7 years in a row?
8.
8 years in a row. Plus, got a job, came back, picked him up. She did that for 8 years in a row. And to this day, Miss Rickson, I want you to know that your son thinks, and I may be wrong, tell us in the comment section, but James says that brooding means somebody who's about to give birth. All right, James, and we leave it
That
there.
is not what I said. I said brooding is when you're ready to want to be pregnant.
To want to have a baby.
But then I realized
No.
that the actual word
That's what it is,
is
James.
broody.
No. I'm not getting into it. That's what you said, and it's on the internet now. Shout out. Cool. Why not, James? James, I don't want to, you know what? I'm a meathead. Again, I don't know anything. I want to create a safe space for you. Is that you could be right. I'm open to it. But let's let the people in the comment section tell us whether you're right or wrong. Shout out, James. James at James Ilsley, huh?
On the gram, James_Ilsley.
Mm-hmm.
And on the tweets, it's at Ilsley James. ILSLEY. Is how you spell my surname. Rickus found me, and I saw Rickus's message that he sent me. I saw it last night.
Oh, so James, so what happened, a lot of people, you may be listening for the first time. At the beginning, James was a really humble producer when he came in, grateful to have the job, you know. And what happened was that one of our faithful listeners from the very beginning, Rickus Swart, listening to the show every single day, sharing it, kind of helping us grow this platform, you know, in a difficult market to grow in. Rickus giving his blood, sweat, and tears to the show. James just flat out ignored him after about 3 months of being a producer on the show.
I didn't get a notification about his message.
He's too big for Rickus now. So that happened. And what, a month later, James, you've decided, did you respond? I mean, how did that go?
So, Rickus, I have read your message.
Still hasn't responded.
Hi, can I have a conversation with Rickus now?
Unbelievable,
Right,
this guy.
Rickus, I have read your message. I'm just getting together the correct information. I want you to make the right choice here.
Unbelievable. By the way, speaking of,
Wait, what's
get it
happening
out the
here?
way.
What's
I don't
happening?
care.
What's
James,
happening?
we made a
happening?
promise to listeners
What did we do?
on Friday.
What did we do?
And this is a huge, this is, you know, if James is a professional.
Is this what I think it is?
James is a professional, a producer. Now, we're supposed to talk about Pep Guardiola now.
Please tell me this is what I think it is. Please. Please.
But if you don't know,
Yes. It is.
James, give me my camera.
Yes.
Because we got to cut this promo properly. If you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, UFC, boxing, rugby, cricket are the only sports out there. Well, you got to kill the music because I got to cut a proper promo.
I was
here.
thinking that too.
I got to cut this promo. This is a proper promo.
All right. Okay, camera, lights, camera, action. You're live in 5, 4, 3.
You're probably sitting at home thinking to yourself, the only sports out there are rugby, cricket, football, tennis. Well, that makes you dumb because there's a new world. There is a new world opening up right in front of you and you're choosing to ignore it. That world, it is $1 billion, trillion industry right now. It is growing. And don't be proud of your ignorance because you're a dumb meathead like me. There is a new world. That world is called e-sport. And in that world, there is a game that only the greatest of the greats can succeed at. Ladies and gentlemen, on Friday, it came out. James claiming that I play Apex Legends. Actually, probably doesn't. Didn't know any of the details about a big tournament. But because he's a big producer, went away this weekend. Maybe potentially pregnant from what I've heard, because I called him brooding earlier, and I don't know what that means. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, an exclusive, a rundown on Apex Legends, how the tournament works, what the prize money is, what teams are involved, and who are the favorites. James spent all weekend working on it. I give you Apex Legends with our producer extraordinaire, James Jimbo Illingsley.
That was incredible. That was quite an entrance. Right, so I did go away. Rikus, I'm gonna get back to you in a second.
Don't worry about Rikus. We're all about Apex Legends right now.
Apex.
I mean, you've already basically told Rikus he can go to hell, and you're too big time for him. So, Rikus, sorry. Like, in life, we are the things we do, not the things we say. He's already shown you through his actions. And apply this in your life across the board, Rikus, right? Because right now, I'm being like those people that I hate that preach to people, remember? The Aquarius, the Pisces people. But Rikus, people are the things they do, not the things they say. James ignored you. He doesn't even care about you watching the show and helping us boost it. The fact that you dedicate 2 hours a day to the show. What does James Illsley say? I don't care. I'm the third favorite son in the Illsley family. Get the hell out of here, Rikus. So don't worry about Rikus, James. You've already shown that you don't care about him. We're all about Apex Legends right now. Hit me with it, Jimbo.
Right. So, on Friday, we glossed over Apex Legends.
Sure.
And I thought a good place to start would be at the very beginning.
Okay. So most people aren't nerds like you, James, and they actually have a life and a job and a wife, and we still on the fence whether James has a girlfriend or not. What the hell is Apex Legends? Let's get into it.
That's where I was
Are we going to give the full rundown?
Yes.
All right,
yes.
big producing. All right, James, over to you, pal.
Right. So
I will ask questions and I will interrupt in between.
absolutely do it. So Apex Legends, right, is a battle royale game.
What does that mean?
It is essentially you choose a character. I'll get into the characters in a second. You choose a character, and you jump in with either your squad of 3 or your duo team of 2, or you can solo queue and then it'll put you with randoms. And you jump in and you face off against like 30 other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Last team standing wins. What makes Apex different to
It's obviously the best one. That's what makes it different. Apex.
absolutely.
Well, Apex is the top. You don't get above an orca in the ocean.
You have reached the Apex.
It's an Apex, yeah. Like Usain Bolt in running.
Exactly. Right.
Sure.
So what makes it different is that
Or Ellen in douchebaggery.
what?
She's an Apex. Apex douchebag.
She is an Apex.
Yeah.
So in a lot of these battle royales, it's very much based on your gun skills and your sort of loot management.
Okay.
Apex is different in the sense that there's different legends, and each legend has an ability, and some legends work well with others don't, and it's all about finding who you play well with, as well as if that person fits into like your squad.
Give me some of the characteristics. Give me 2 legends. I don't need to know all of them. What are some of the characteristics that? Yeah, give me 2 legends and what their capabilities are.
Yeah, 2 legends. Interesting. Okay, so the one legend is Caustic. He has been around since season 1, if I'm not mistaken. We're currently on season 9, so he's been around since the very beginning.
Okay.
Caustic, his abilities, he can throw like a gas barrel like onto the floor, and it's like this, it inflates, and then if an enemy runs past it, the gas goes off and it does damage to the enemy, and then you get alerted that one of your barrels has gone off wherever it is. His ultimate ability is he pulls out like a gas canister thingy.
Okay.
He throws it on the floor, and then it explodes, and if enemies are in there, it does mad damage to them and they lose a lot of health. Then it's a lot easier to actually just kill them with their gun because their health is already low.
Oh, I see.
That's Caustic, right?
Classic. Caustic. Awesome. Love it.
The season 9 legend, so they release a legend every season.
Why are the seasons? Friends.
It's new opportunities to unlock cosmetics. There's a thing called a battle pass that you buy, and then you move from rank 1 to rank 110, and you unlock different stuff for your legends or your characters in the battle pass. It also breaks up the game into segments and allows the developers to make map changes. So like now, they'll probably be working on the map changes or the new legend for season 10. Then they'll release the update at the end of season 9, and you'll have all of these new sort of game modes or map features and plus,
Now, big question before we talk about the second legend. One thing I know about nerds, they hate developers, and they hate it when the game changes unnecessarily. I mean, by season 10, it's kind of like Big Bang Theory. Maybe should have cancelled it at season 2. Hate the show, by the way. Big Bang Theory, not for me. But you know what I'm saying? Are we there yet, or are the nerds still loving season 9?
Season 9's
Because nerds hate change.
That's the thing. So season 9's a little bit. The pros are complaining a lot about season 9. The pros play a lot of ranked, which is one of the game modes. You start at bronze. You have to fight your way
Makes sense.
through to the top rank, which is Predator.
Yeah.
And
Apex Predator.
there you go. How cool,
Nice.
right? So that's the objective of Apex Ranked. And starting in bronze, you play against.
Dum-dums like James.
Well,
Where are you? Are you in bronze?
we haven't done a lot of grinding.
Oh,
So we're
excuses
in-
before you answer.
We're
Oh.
in gold.
Okay, so it goes
uh,
bronze, silver, gold.
Yeah, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond,
Oh,
masters, predator.
oh gosh, so you're like Southampton. You're not going to get relegated, but nobody's paying.
Yeah, we
You're
haven't
not
put-
selling out the stadium every week.
We haven't put all our effort in yet.
It's unbelievable, James. You got to commit or don't, James.
We should.
I mean, I don't even know if you've got a girlfriend or not, which means I don't understand what you're doing with the rest of your life. All right, let's talk about another legend now.
Another legend, season 9's new legend. Her name is Valkyrie. So she's got many abilities. One of them, you can jetpack. So you like double jump, and then you can fly around until your gas runs out.
Okay.
Not your gas, your fuel. Also, when you're in the air and you're like flying, because to get to the ground, you start in a dropship, you jump. Once you've chosen your location as a team,
Yeah.
you can see where everybody else is going while you're in the air flying down to the ground. What makes Valkyrie different is she has like this radar thing where it picks up enemies. So you don't actually have to look for flying streaks of other teams.
Yes.
You just look for the square that's highlighted around the enemy that it's picked up.
And is that only available while she's in the air?
So,
Okay.
And then she's got another thing where you can
Valkyrie.
shoot. Yeah,
Sounds like falconry. Good name.
it's my girl.
Good
you
name.
can shoot missiles out
Okay.
of her like backpack thingy. And then her ultimate ability, which is her main thing, is you can redeploy your team with her jetpack.
How many legends in a team?
It depends on the game mode. There's trios, duos. You can do arenas, which is trios. Ranked is trios.
So 3.
Yeah,
3 or 2. Sounds like you just said 3 or 2.
yeah. People wanted like solos, but the point of Apex is to use the different abilities
To have
with
teamwork.
each other. Yeah.
All right, I like it. Okay, good explanation, James. I understand you. So you have to find 3 or 2 other legends that complement the one. You don't want just somebody who's just a gas bruiser. You want somebody who can snipe from distance, I'd imagine, and you want the falconry lady.
Yeah.
That's all. Falconry.
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. Why don't you come on over, Valkyrie?
Cool. So the tournament's coming up. Apex Legends has tournaments throughout the year. They've changed it from LAN tournaments where everyone meets up in Poland or wherever to like at home tournaments where you play
Yeah.
remotely with your team. though.
COVID changed everything.
Yes, COVID did change everything. So it's called the Apex Legends Global Series. And that's where teams come to compete for all of the prize money. But to get to the Global Series, you have to get through other qualifying cups.
Yeah.
Like
So only the guys in ranked, I would imagine, playing in Apex mode, or what's the final level?
Predator.
Predator. So
Yeah, so a lot of the pros that play in these tournaments are Apex Predators.
Makes
and
sense.
if not, they're like Apex Master, and they haven't reached Predator by like this much.
Okay.
And that's because they haven't even tried.
how many qualifying tournaments is there? Do you get points, or is there tournaments to qualify?
So it's all points based.
Okay, makes sense.
Um,
So you got to put in the hours. There's
Yeah.
no cheating it. You can't just be brilliant, pitch up at a qualifying tournament with your 2 other friends,
yeah.
and just mutilate everyone. You actually have to keep playing.
So that's why they do something called scrims, where all of the legends they're all on the same Discord server. They get told, okay, guys, we're doing scrims between the 1st of March and the 3rd of March. These are the times. please be there. And scrims will be where all of the pros that are going to be playing in these tournaments load into the same lobby or the same server, and it's essentially practice for them. So they're practicing.
Preseason, yeah. It's a sport. I get it.
So, yeah, that's where they play around with different metas and metas. Big word.
Yeah.
Play around with different metas and legends and see what works for tournament time and see what their team can do.
All right, let's get to the tournament now.
Right, so I mentioned on Friday that the ALG's Apex Legends Global Series is taking place this week. It actually started on the 22nd of May, but it ends on June 13th. So, like, tomorrow is the EMEA group stage, day 1. So EMEA is Europe and Africa, if I'm not mistaken. So there's different regions. They don't all play.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So you have NA and EMEA.
North America and Europe or whatever.
Yeah,
I get it.
So, yeah, tomorrow is the first day of the sort of build up to the final, the grand finals. Prize money? I know what you're thinking.
That's what's important.
I know what you're thinking. James, what prize money is online?
Yes. That's exactly what I care about. So I can't believe it's taken this long to get you.
So the prize money varies based on the point of tournament you're at. So this is the ALG Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Then you also get ALG Major. Then you get ALG Playoffs.
So this one's a championship tournament.
Yeah, so this is like the big dog. Like, this is the one you want to win.
Oh, majors should be better than championship, though.
Well, majors like qualifying-ish.
Makes no sense. It's the opposite.
Championship.
Okay, but fair enough.
Anyway, so do you want to know what first place gets?
Yeah, so that's 3 people. Now we know that it's trios.
Trios. So these tournaments are always trios.
Okay.
And these players and these organizations have to pass a whole bunch of sort of tests.
Makes sense.
There's a whole bunch of rules of things you cannot do in-game. And, like, so all of these orgs, the bigger ones, have coaches. And, like, if they're live streaming.
Orgs is nerd talk for organizations, I'm presuming, yeah?
Yeah. So all of these bigger orgs, like TSM is a huge org.
So it's a team.
Yeah.
Okay.
TSM's in Apex. They're in Fortnite.
So they're the favorites. TSM, that's where you want to be. What are their team colors?
Black and white.
Really?
Team solo mid.
Awesome.
So the bigger orgs have a coach, and like if you watch this, sometimes or a lot of the time, the pros will actually stream the tournament, and you can hear them talk to each other and see their tactics. It's actually really, really interesting to watch. But you'll see while they're in the lobby, their coach will come on and be like, "Hey guys, just remember for that last push of the circle, blah 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 blah." And then you'll see the one guy says, "We're loading in now," and then the coach will hop off because it's obviously rules and you can't talk. Anyway, first place, $210,000.
Nothing wrong with 70 grand to take home. 70 big ones.
210.
70 big ones each, huh?
Even second place, you get $150,000.
50 big ones each.
Third, $120,000.
That's awesome. 40 big ones each.
I'm not going to go through this whole list because it goes up to 20.
Well, third is fine. I mean, if you're not on the podium, I don't even want to be your friend.
Then you also get extra bonus money if you are the Apex Predator of the tournament.
What does he get? Or she?
So the Apex Predator is the player with the most eliminations. If multiple players tie for most kills, they will share the money. For championship, and I say for championship because for major the prize workings are different, and
we don't care about that. If you're not in the championship, get the hell out of my face.
There you go. So Apex Predator Championship prize money is $16,000.
16 grand if you have the most kills, huh?
Yeah.
Sure. That is sweet.
And these guys walk away.
No, hey, and they deserve it. I mean, listen, I know traditional sports fans kind of hate it, but by the way, parents, school teams now, there are championships. You can get colors at schools, and this is awesome. You know, now this is when more is more.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody has won a genetic lottery to go and kick a rugby ball through the post. And I know parents, you hate it. And it's a tricky one because you need to find, for me, again, I'm a meathead. Get out there, run around, and be in good shape. But, you know, again, I'm realizing I'm old. But listen, this is a career choice now, right? And I got to say this, let it come off, and I sound a little bit old school, but kids are getting softer now. Like boarding, I talked to some of the head of boarding school and people that were in boarding school when I was there, and I hear some of the stuff that's not allowed now. Some people might say softer is good, let's care more, less bullying. Okay, whatever. That's a conversation for smarter people to have. This is a career opportunity now.
It's huge.
Like,
these guys make and like the biggest streamers, they'll pull audiences of like 11, 12K for one stream, and within that stream, fans like, because of the way, I don't know how familiar you are with like the Twitch setup.
Yes, yeah.
But like fans,
you should get a channel, James. People like Rickus who actually
would watch me play.
Well, they care. Unlike you, so Rickus is the opposite of you. He's investing his time. You don't care about getting back to him. Shout out to Rickus, by the way. Hopefully, thoughts and prayers to Rickus in these tough times. Listen, it's a career opportunity now, and parents need to just be open to it. For me, it's just about being open. I mean, we obviously, with all new things comes challenges, right? Because the challenge with this new world and the virtual world, and it's a big problem, is that children, and I don't think this is a hot take or disrespectful, is most of the guys and girls look a certain way, they're overweight. It's a sedentary sport. What do we do about that? We don't want that. We don't want to say, oh, you can't play video games because you're going to be unhealthy. So we're going to have to manage that as parents and as elders. As I get older, whether I like it or not, I need to look after my nieces and nephews. They're looking at me. And James, your time will come in 10 years where right now it's about you. But we need to face these challenges. But it is a career opportunity now. How do we manage that balance of, hey, kids need to get outside. You do need vitamin D. You do need to interact with people. And I know people think Zoom changed everything. No, it didn't. You need to touch human beings. You need to learn how to queue. You need to learn how to respect other people. And that can only be done by getting the hell outside your house, meeting somebody, if you're Christian, who's Muslim. Like, there are certain things, I'm afraid, you just can't learn on a YouTube video. And I know young people think everything's on YouTube. It is not. Like how to stand in a queue and actually be nice to somebody who's selling you something and gives you service. But the other side of it is, hey, this is a real career thing. What, 150 for the winners?
No,
$210,000. And this is one of the smaller ones, because I know when you get into real big games, some of the stuff, it's $8-9 million. They're filling out 60,000 stadiums in Korea. So, hey, Apex Legends, shout out to these guys.
It's huge, bro, and it's growing. Apex had their biggest, what would we call it? Their biggest sort of influx of
numbers,
new players for Season 9.
Shout out, dude. And shout out to them. You know who shout out to? It's just like becoming a rugby player or a tennis player, is you got to put hours in, right? And for me, I'll struggle with it. I'm from a different generation because I just do worry about, we know from science that being sedentary is not a great thing. How do we figure that out? Okay, cool. We're going to have to manage that. You cannot sit in your house 10 hours a day and ignore everybody. Like, that's not okay for so many things. And young kids are, now people work harder, people work longer, and it's so easy to lose your kids, I don't know, to a screen, right? We're going to have to manage that. But hey, shout out to parents. I'm not a parent, but $70,000?
What's
per kid? I mean, if it's trios, $210,000, that's $70,000 a kid. Not a bad way for just sitting in your lounge and doing your thing for 5 or 6 years, I'd imagine it takes to get to that level, just to get into that tournament.
Dude, and that's even outside of, so if you're part of like TSM or NRG, which are like the tier 1 teams, tier 1 is like
they pay you a retainer, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you're part of TSM, you're part of a contract, you get sponsorships, you're still earning cash from your streams, from fans, dude.
Listen,
ridiculous.
It is an organization, so shout out to the guys doing their thing, because listen, I work in digital. I know how hard it is in the open source world, which is what digital is. It's open. Anyone can start a channel. Anyone can have a stream thing. Anyone whose parents have $30,000 to buy you a full setup can get involved in this.
Sure.
So it is happening around the world. In fact, it's probably more democratic than football.
You want to know the best part about it?
Wow, didn't know there was more.
This is the last sort of thing. The best part about it, every single thing that I've mentioned is 100% free. Apex is a free game.
Yeah.
Watching it on YouTube and watching the tournaments and watching the streamers on Twitch and YouTube, free to do. You don't have to pay the streamers money to subscribe to their channel. Some of them are like that, and
Hey, listen.
it's all free, bro.
And also, listen, again, I'll sound like old man, get off my lawn. Kids are getting softer now. It's a lot easier to do this, sit at home, than actually get out there on the rugby field, because rugby is a brutal thing. Football is a brutal thing. Tennis is hard. It's in the sun. There's elements. There's other good people. You get a little, I don't know which is worse, because I've never really experienced much of it and again, I'm a certain personality type, but sport is hard. You send kids to boarding school. It is, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to actually have to deal with people. If I can sit at home, I'm in my safety bubble.
Yeah.
Might be an option. All right. Apex Legends, $210,000. James, you got to reach out to some of these guys. Love to have them on my show. It is your duty now over the next 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, big producing from James.
I try.
That's good stuff.
That was
Apex
good stuff, huh?
Legends. You want to be in the championship.
You do want to be in the championship.
TSM. So those are they the winners? Are they the guys that destroy everyone?
They went on a 5-win streak. They won the championship 5 years now.
That's who I support now.
Those are the boys.
TSM. Let's get the TSM guys on here.
We'll try our
Where
hardest.
are they from? Korea. Sure. America.
No, they're all part of NA.
NA is?
North America. So
okay.
they actually recently, all three of them moved into the same house in Las Vegas.
A little bit stereotypical there to think they were Asian guys.
A little bit, actually.
Are they good Asian teams, though? Probably.
I watch more NA than I do EM. Oh, that's what it is. Europe and Asia and Africa. That's what EMEA is.
I look forward to whatever the proper one is, where they have the American guys playing the Scandinavian guys, playing the African guys, playing the Asian guys.
That'd be a vibe, huh?
But who am I supporting? NA. Who?
TSM.
TSM. Those are my guys. I'm getting the shirt.
Team Solo Mid.
Do they sell merch?
They do.
I'm getting TSM merch. I'm not joking.
Do it.
No, that's
the day you show up to the studio in a TSM shirt.
Hoodie. No. Hoodie. I'm getting a hoodie.
Even a hoodie, yes.
It's going to happen. TSM. That's who I support now. We're going to try and get them on the show. James, good stuff.
Good stuff.
And that's not the end. A lot of people going, hey, we want to hear about Pep Guardiola. We can talk about him tomorrow. Because at this stage, I think it's important that a man who believes that brooding has anything to do with giving birth to a human baby or any baby. Perhaps elephants can be brooding. We didn't really get into it with James. He thinks that brooding means you're going to have a small one in your womb for 9 months or more. If you're an elephant, I believe that is a whole process. That can be 18 months for elephants, James. That's a tough one. Imagine brooding for 18 months, James. Not easy, huh? Not easy.
I can't imagine, huh?
Yeah, that's why they have a good memory. They're brooding for 18 months. Surely, James, it's not more ridiculous than thinking brooding.
I'm not saying anything.
If you're in the womb for that long, that's why elephants have a good memory. Apparently, they know where water is from thousands of kilometers away.
Damn.
Elephants.
It's
Big
impressive.
memory. And by the way, interesting research coming out on elephants. How many sports shows are going to tell you this information? It is now coming out. I was reading a neuroscience paper by a conservationist saying there is some empirical evidence, peer-reviewed stuff, that elephants from a different generation can remember migration paths that they've never walked before from the genetics of previous elephants.
What?
How insane is that? And this is not like... So because I'm probably as big a nerd as you are with Apex Legends, so that's just so you know, that's how I spend my Sunday nights reading scientific papers, because that's what I do, and I love science. So yeah, I was reading that and I thought, that is incredible.
That's insane.
Isn't that insane?
Damn.
Yeah, that's some new research that just dropped about a year ago. I read the paper a couple of weeks ago. They can remember migration paths from, having never walked those paths, but genetically that material is passed on somewhere neurologically. How crazy is that?
That is insane. Elephants, huh?
Imagine we as human beings could remember what traits not to look for in a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And our grandmother could just pass that on to us. You know what I mean? Like, she had a bad husband. Like, just pass that to me, Gran. I want to make good relationship decisions. Wouldn't that be awesome? Just to okay, those are red flags. Ignore those.
Imagine where we would be as a society.
Yeah, we'd probably still be doing tarot card readings and doing yoga courses, because we don't know what's good for us.
You know, I know my gran gave me her
locket.
Her locket,
Yeah.
which helped me see things in guys, but I still feel safer doing my tarot reading.
Do you know what? It's me. I keep thinking I can save him. Those are the ones. Those are the... All right, Jimbo, we are a sports show. Give us some music, because, ladies and gentlemen, a man who went to St. Sidion's, went to AFTA,
Correct.
a beard that drives his mother crazy, but his girlfriend likes it. There's probably a little bit of tension in the family about that. because his mom wants him to shave. His girlfriend loves it because it makes him look like Adrian Brooding Brody. Brody. See what I did there, James? A man with douchebag glasses, looks like Jurgen Klopp, has now figured out conditioning. His hair's on fleek today. It is now time for social media with James. James, what you got for us, pal?
Right, so part of the social media with James was Apex Legends. So do you want to just jump into these comments?
No. Let's. Was the whole of social media just what we just did now?
I'm not sure why I was rushing through it now that I think back to it, because I was going fast through everything.
Okay.
But I do have a couple of Sky Sports things.
Yeah. Let's touch on that and we'll get into the comments.
So European Super League. I don't know if you saw that interview that Sefrin did with Sky.
I haven't seen it yet. We'll watch it this afternoon.
So UEFA President Alexander Sefrin had a sit-down interview with Sky Sports. And he was saying, so if you go onto Sky Sports' Instagram, there's more of a highlights sort of video for it as opposed to watching the full thing. I don't know how long the full thing is.
I'll watch the full thing.
But he was saying that he's confused by the stance that Barca, Juve, and Real are taking, because as you know, they are still part of the Super League in theory.
Yep.
So he's confused as to why they are still part of the Super League, and there's a whole legal thing. And they came out last week saying that we want to have open dialogue with UEFA and blah, blah, blah. But then apparently those three clubs have written a letter to UEFA.
Yep.
Like a behind closed doors letter, applying to play in the Champions League. So from Sefrin's point of view, he's confused as to why 1 minute you want to play Super League, then the next minute you want to play Champions League, but you want to play Super League at the same time. What do you guys want?
You know what? Ultimately, here's how it works with men. Everyone wants credit, right? Well, like it's an ego. This is now an ego thing. Is really what needs to happen. And as with most life, the answer to the best solution is never actually. Let's say it's me and James. It's never what James 100% wants, and it's never 100% what I want, right? The only way for progress to happen in life is this horrible thing. And I hate it. There's a reason I'm a bachelor, right? And I probably will be for the rest of my life. I'm not good at this. It's called compromise. So always in life, if you're looking for solutions, particularly in business, always look for the hybrid. Where's that sweet spot called the hybrid? Some of James's idea, and it doesn't always need to be 50-50. It might be 60 James, 40 me, but the hybrid in everything. I mean, you always hear youngsters now going, oh, I'm only digital. Rubbish. You're not in business then. The secret lies in the hybrid between traditional and digital. It's why Disney continue to win, right? Is they'll win forever, is they are dominating every space. Zuckerberg, why does he win? He's got traditional platforms that he's working with, and he's got digital. Google, why do they win? They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Apple, there's literally called Apple TV. Right? Why? Because they understand that the hybrid is where you win. So again, this is what happens though, is number one, smart people, rich people, do you know what they don't like? Being told what to do by people they know that they're smarter than. But do you think every single billionaire who owns a football club cares what Sefrin has to say? They tolerate him, but they know they're smarter than him. Now, he might not believe that, but we know they are. And if not, do you know what? They've got people that are 10 times as smart as him.
Yeah.
So, really, it's an ego thing. And by the way, UEFA, you need the clubs. Clubs, here's where we are. You need UEFA. They'll be fine. They'll sort it out in the end. It's just an ego play. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll learn. The life will force both hands, and they'll be fine. Sefrin knows you cannot have the Champions League without Juventus, Real Madrid, and who else is there?
Barca.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean,
it'll be
we have Barca been in the Champions League in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, well,
anyway.
Yeah, okay. All right. No, fair enough. Fair enough.
Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather, June 6th is this weekend. I've been watching a couple of videos. Yesterday was a busy day for me. I did some Apex research and watched some social media with James. Anyway,
Shout out for you doing your job, James.
on a Sunday,
Mm.
the Lord's Day.
I'm not I know your mom listens to this show. I'm not going to get involved in you doing blasphemy. I mean,
That's not blasphemy.
this is
Sunday
why.
is the Lord's Day.
This is why they moved 1,200 kilometers away. Now, the backbone of not all, but old school, from my Afrikaans friends that I still have, is religion, and James is making a mockery of it. And this is why his family moved 1,200 kilometers away. James, I'm just telling you what happened. Don't get emotional with me, bro.
It's the Lord's Day.
I can't get involved in any blasphemy. What you got for me there, James?
Anyway, so Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather, June 6th. Watched a couple of stuff this weekend, and I've had this weird mental shift, right? So I was under the impression, as was anyone with a brain, that Logan Paul doesn't even stand a hope in hell.
Mm-hmm.
After watching a couple of videos this weekend, I think this could be one for the ages, because Logan Paul, I know he's a YouTuber, podcaster, Pokemon collecting person,
Mhm.
and not a professional boxer for the last Lord knows how long.
Yep.
But yeah, you can't just, and everybody says, yeah, he's got the reach and the size over Mayweather, but that stuff counts. And I think, I don't think you can overlook it when the difference is that much.
James, let me tell you how much of a chance he's got. He's got about as much chance as I would if I had Idris Elba or Tay Diggs standing next to me and Scarlett Johansson had to pick a partner. Here's the thing. Floyd Mayweather gave himself to boxing for 25 years, and boxing isn't like anything else. It's like UFC. You can't fake it. Like Ronda Rousey, who was an Olympian medalist, eventually got found out. Like, fighting's not a play soccer thing you can hide behind teammates. Ultimately, I don't think they're going to take it like for that kind of serious. I think they've probably had talks behind, because listen, Mayweather could seriously. Do you know if boxers are in a fight in public, do you know they can go to jail because they're considered a lethal weapon?
What?
Yeah, a real thing. If you think Jake Paul even has a sniff of a hope, you need to stop the recreational drugs you're doing, whoever you are there. And I know the youngsters follow him, and he's made epic videos. I watched a little bit of the documentary behind the scenes. Stop it, James. This is no. And you know what? I think it's good that it's a smaller guy, because one of these the YouTube guys are going to get hurt eventually. They're going to push it a little bit too far. No, he's no chance. Floyd Mayweather is unbeaten against 50 professional fighters. No,
I mean, I'm not saying
no.
that Logan Paul's going to win. I'm just saying I think maybe people are I think it's going to be, like I say, one for the ages. People are overlooking
One for the ages.
Logan Paul's reach. That man can punch Floyd from across the ring.
James, this guy couldn't. A guy called Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya. Like, no, boxing's not. This is not play around. Listen, the Paul boys must be very careful, because this is how you get hurt. No. This guy's dedicated 25 years of his life. It's going to be. You know what? I think they've talked about it behind the scenes. Floyd, don't hurt him, because no, James, no. It's not how fighting. Fighting's not like I've said. You know why they're the most honest sports? In football, you can hide behind teammates. You can have a Jordan Henderson in a team with Mo Salah, and he can be a champion. Jordan Henderson on his own against Roy Keane gets devoured. But you can hide in team sport. There's no... you can't make up 25 years experience. Floyd Mayweather's been fighting since he was 7 years old. No. It's going to be embarrassing. Surprised if he lost. Everyone... Listen, Conor McGregor, who would humiliate Jake Paul, all right? Humiliate him, lasted 7 rounds. And he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. So, nah. Sorry, man. I like Jake Paul, but no. Stop. And don't even entertain it, James. There's no one for the ages. Awesome content, though. Hashtag I got your hat.
Hashtag got your hat.
Yeah. And I like this Paul guy in terms of business.
Someone in the... So I was about to jump into the comments, but someone in the comments said James Logan Paul has the same chance as Arsenal to win the Champions League.
You know what? Firm but fair. Whoever said that, firm but fair.
And Shawma.
And he's a big Arsenal fan, so he's being honest from the heart. He has about, that's a great comparison.
Sorry, buddy.
Logan Paul has about as much chance as Arsenal have to win the Champions League next season, or as Bafana have to winning the next World Cup.
Logan Paul has as much of a chance as Bafana do at winning the Euros.
Yeah, well, it's not realistic. At least they could have qualified for the World Cup. But I hear what you're saying. All right, what we got
pick
next?
up on what I did there, right?
I do see what you're saying.
Right. Anyway, comments.
Let's get into them.
And look who's first. It's Rickus.
Oh.
Rickus, I did read your message last night. Like I said before, I was rudely interrupted. I am getting stuff together because this, depending on what you invest in, can become costly, and I want you to make the best decision.
All right. Now, let me explain to you what James is doing. Now, it's called conditioning or prepping somebody psychologically. So, folks, if this ever happens with your girlfriend or boyfriend, where you ask them a question or you confront them for something they did, and they have to do the big preamble of, here's why I took so long. It's because I've been thinking. Like, no. I asked you, where were you on Thursday night? Here's the thing. Because that's what you've just done now, James. You know when someone's lying where they got to do the big push up front. Like when your girlfriend asks you, where were you on Saturday? It was my mom's birthday. Well, I want to explain to you how I came to be where I was. Actually, what happened was that Craig arrived and my car was parked behind Michelle's one. But I thought to myself, I should phone you. But then my phone was off and there wasn't a USB-C charger at the party. And Craig was waiting outside already and we had to leave. And when we got in the car, his batteries actually was finished as well. But his girlfriend wasn't answering her phone and his phone died while we were on the way to this dance club. That's what you sound like right now. So, and folks, if you ever hear what James just done, in any explanation from boyfriend or girlfriend or life partner, they are lying.
12 grand is a big investment. I don't want Rickus to throw 12 grand to the wind and then not enjoy what he's doing.
So, Rickus, James was lying, and he's you know what? His mom is an awesome person. She raised him to be better than this. James, I can't believe you're lying to Rickus live on air. Just say you don't want to. Just say he's below you and you're a big coffee influencer now. By the way, James, that beard is looking insane.
It's long, huh?
When was the last time you spoke to your mom? I mean, we might as well address this now.
I spoke to my mom yesterday.
Do you do the video call or you just do the audio call?
Was it yesterday? No, I spoke to my mom on
whenever
Saturday.
it was, yeah.
Saturday night. It wasn't a video call.
I knew it because you know why? Because you know as soon as you switch on the video call, what's she going to say?
Well, that, and I also had some sort of interesting news to share with her due to developments that had happened.
In your personal life?
Yes.
No, that's awesome. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That's see, again, that's a whole other thing.
Exactly.
But actually why you didn't was you knew she was going to see the beard. Be honest.
No, I promise you.
What happens when she sees that beard?
Oh, it's game over. She's actually watching this show because she's commented in the comments.
Okay, so she's watching live today.
Yeah, she said, I have no words when we were talking about brooding.
You know what the pain for your mom is, James? It's
that I'm a disappointment.
Because there's no level she wouldn't go to for you. And no, it's not the disappointment thing. I mean, you're not a disappointment. But there is what pains her is that she would she'd do it all over again. You know what I mean? She doesn't regret a day of killing herself so you could go to a fine institution like St. Stithians. That's not the regret. It's almost like, hey, St. Stithians, what the hell? What the hell are you teaching these kids?
The goal was
because she might as well have sent you to a school underneath a tree in the bundus.
The goal was to sort it out this weekend.
What understanding what brooding means?
No, the beard and the hair's a little bit long. It was the goal was to do it all this weekend, but then I kind of.
Oh, here we go.
Here
we go. Here we go. What I've just explained to people, you're about to do now.
Well, I was just going to say that you had sent me a particular message on Saturday.
Yes.
And that kind of, my head was just, I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't.
Oh, so you can't buy a razor for home?
No, I have a razor, but just not.
It's unbelievable.
I'm done.
I told everybody, if you hear
I'm so done.
The big push that James was doing now. All right, James, let's move on. I mean,
I'm so done.
I don't, you've already, it's incredible. This is why you win the bronze medal in the Ilsley Suns race. All right, James, what else we got, Pop?
Oh, we didn't even get to Rickus's comment.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Rickus said, I already muted Mbalelo on Twitter. He is totally unbearable. I'm just glad that City's still without a UEFA Champions League trophy.
Rikus, buckle in, because that is going to be for the next 6 to 8 weeks. And I will, you know what? Great. I'm glad he told us that, because he will be getting DMs from me now. Since he muted me. You know what I mean? You got to get to the people.
Sorry, Rickus. Sorry, buddy.
Unlike James, I will DM you, Rikus.
Dr. Niquin Adams. Feel like I'm eavesdropping on a conversation at Tasha's.
Was that when we were talking about being in
Star Signs.
Yeah, that's it. Very good. I like that.
Gutle says, I'm just glad that City can't claim to have won the treble. That is true.
And listen, we must discuss this. The Liverpool started this annoying thing of just calling winning 3 trophies a treble. It's not. There is a very clear treble. League and the predominant cup in your country, and the Champions League. That's the treble. The idea that City were not on the way to a treble this year. And Liverpool started this annoying thing because they did it under Rafa, where they won the League Cup, the Europa, and I think it was FA Cup.
We won the...
It was that.
It was like a continental treble or something like that.
Yeah, no, it was the
treble.
Yeah, no, it was the League Cup, or was it the Super Cup as well? Anyway, it was like a Fugazi.
It wasn't actually the treble.
No, but Liverpool fans did he did the treble. No, he didn't. And Man City were not doing the treble this year. They couldn't. Once Chelsea beat them in the FA Cup semi-final, sorry, it wouldn't have counted. The League Cup or Carabao Cup now, it doesn't count as the treble. I know it's 3, but no. That's not how it works.
It's a Mickey Mouse treble.
No, it's not a treble. It's nothing. It's winning 3 trophies. But I hear you, Gutle. Probably, Gutle, I'm guessing, a Man United fan. A little bit bitter there.
Sorry, buddy. Rika says, didn't Mourinho fire her? I think he claimed she does not understand football when she went onto the field to attend to an injury.
Yes. Yeah, there was a whole situation there, but he did.
Tabo says, I'm just glad we are still the only team in Manchester to win the Champions League. Dr. Niquin Adams says, is this a sports show? Sometimes. So
what's a good question? I was listening to 2 shows on the weekend, and I asked that myself, Dr. Niquin.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Rika says, maybe push back to sport because nobody really cares. I don't think people like when we go off topic.
I think it was the Apex Legends thing.
No, that... We were Apex Legends by, like, Dieter's comment, because that was the intermission.
Okay, but I mean, yeah, fair enough. Rikus, that's good feedback.
I don't think we will see Tuchel at Chelsea by the time the World Cup break comes around November 22.
Probably win another Champions League. Fire the manager. Don't fix it if it's not broken.
Goodley says, back to sport. Pep lost because the thoughts so far... Hang on. Because he thought so far outside the box that he lost the box. No defensive midfielder and no striker. What was that? There was no... That was a huge thing after the game that he didn't play a DM.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Tomorrow's thing?
Yeah. No, I'll certainly have my thoughts on that.
And Shoma says, preach, preacher. I'm a football fan. The NFL is now 17 games, which creates a win now mentality, like you must win every week, and this in turn creates a better product for the consumer.
In anything, urgency is king. Urgency is king. There's a reason why even you look at series and stuff like that, very few shows are Friends, Curb Your Enthusiasm. 4 or 5 seasons. Not everything's Game of Thrones. You need urgency, especially now in a hyper-driven consumer world. That's why people don't watch full games anymore. What do? They watch it on social media, watch clips. The NBA's biggest problem right now is that nobody cares about the regular season games. You know how they watch it? Twitter. They can't monetize Twitter yet. So, urgency is king. It is king, especially in competition.
Urgency, huh? Mm-hmm. Dieter says, RIP Moto3 rider Jason Dupasquia. I did read about that yesterday.
What happened? Passed away in the race?
Was it in the race?
Anyway, that's sad. Let's move on. That's very, very sad.
Yeah.
You never want to see that. I mean, a dangerous sport, but it happens. It happens. Shout out.
Yeah. Kutle says, Trent missed Henderson. Fabinho and Milner covering for him.
I have to agree.
Very true.
Have to agree.
And Shoma says, who's going to have the better rookie season? Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance.
The best setup is Trey Lance, or Trey Lance, as they say. Smart kid, third overall pick. They gave away the farm to take him to San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan, of course, with his father, Mike Shanahan, famous, of course, Hall of Fame coach, Denver Broncos, of course, going back to back. For me, I think he's set up to probably have the best, because I just think the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't know what is going on with bringing Tim Tebow. That's already a mess. For me, any institutions, it's what I like about Man City. You never really hear stuff from the city behind the scenes, right? What that tells me is there's stability internally and there's very clear order. I'm hearing too much noise. I think the Tim Tebow thing is going to be a problem. I love Trevor Lawrence. Listen, generational talent, the greatest rookie talent since probably Peyton Manning. And of course, at the Colts, they had Andrew Luck, who it just didn't work out, didn't build that offensive line for him. So I got to say, Trey Lance, let's go, baby.
Trey Lance.
Yeah, and listen, Kyle Shanahan, a magician. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, probably plays for 6 or 7 games. Jimmy, unfortunately, is what he is now. He will eventually get injured and date a porn star. So they'll probably have him as backup. And then Trey, apparently from what we've seen, a cerebral kid, and he gets it. So Trey Lance for me.
Go Trey. I'm not sure what's happening, but go Trey. Will the Greek freak take the Bucks to the finals?
He will not. I think we saw last night, caught a little bit of it this morning. Check the highlights. What was it? 141 points. The Nets are producing. I mean, that is incredible. Problem with the Greek freak is with your best player, you want to be able to put the ball in his hands beyond the mid-range, because what we can do is all you have to do is get him 8 feet or further from the hoop, and he is useless. And you need to be able to go to your superstar ultimately in those clutch moments, and you cannot with Giannis. If he can't get to the rim, and the problem with Giannis is if you clog the lane, he can't shoot free throws. So what do you do then? So he's nice, and I do like the Bucks, super well coached, but I'm afraid not. The Nets are going to take some stopping. I think LeBron lost, of course, they lost. It's 2-2 in that Phoenix series. I think LeBron will be too cerebral for the Nets when it matters most. So no, Giannis, sorry. Can't shoot, dude. It's a 3-point league now.
My mother has no words for my knowledge of broody and brooding.
Yeah, I feel for her.
And Shoma says, my fingers crossed we get relegated. Hashtag bring on the Arsenal drop. Wow, come to terms with it, have we?
He's hit rock bottom.
Good Lord. Tabo says, The Big Bang Theory up to season 4 or 5 was good.
That's not correct. It's one of the worst shows ever. The only thing worse that I've ever seen is How I Met Your Mother. So, no, absolutely not.
I have...
James is triggered. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
We don't
What
have
else we
time.
got?
We don't have time. I think the Conference League is good for the lower league clubs and is definitely not promoted to the global football fans. It is also not more games for the team from Dieter. It is actually less games for Europa League because it's less teams than the current format.
Champions League has more games, but I hear what I'm saying is it's more games spread across more tournaments. I'm now invest more time to follow another tournament.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is for me, that's the issue. This is why. And look, if you watch rugby, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a reason Super Rugby doesn't exist anymore. It became a mess. Simple. Netflix, Amazon, switch it on. It's on my phone. I push the app. Family Guy. Right? Simple. Make it simple for me to consume.
I love Family Guy.
Simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. Remember that.
Simpiwe says, you guys are never talking about sports every time I watch.
Good, solid feedback.
We just got a lot of love there from... why does this always happen to me?
Let's hear it.
Mercer.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yep.
Because that could be a German name as well.
Exactly.
Could be Merca. Could be Spanish.
Could be French.
Ugh, Mercia. No, what's the surname? Gardeman. That's tough. Could be German. Gardeman. See, that's tough.
She just sent a lot of love. They sent a lot of love because we don't know what pronoun they...
identify as.
Exactly.
Because we know you're an Aquarius.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. Shout out. Love to you as well, Mercer.
Rickus says, if Floyd takes this seriously, then Logan has no chance. Floyd's work ethic is that of any billionaire. He is simply the best.
Greatest defensive boxer of all time.
And Shoma says, James, we did that one. Henry says, not sure why people get excited when a boxer beats a non-boxer in a boxing match. You don't need a crystal ball to know the outcome.
Henry, well said. I get it, dude. I'm totally with you, but you got to say, I mean, Americans do this, right? Think of it more as a TV show than an actual boxing match.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
It's kind of like why I need to like lighten up on movies. It's like just accept it for what it is. It's not going to be a good fight. Logan Paul is a terrible technical fighter. Terrible. He doesn't know how to fight. So don't watch it for that. Like, it's not going to be a high level technical fight. Watch it rather as a TV show.
Yeah.
Suspend belief.
My mom says MKT 1, James 0.
Oh, that's tough, James. Your own mother saying
it's tough to take.
You caught the goose egg, huh?
It's been a tough 72 hours.
For you, hey?
Yeah.
Chin up, dude. And even if your chin was up, I wouldn't be able to see it because that beard is really the Brazilian jungle right now.
It's good. It's a good thing the wide kind of died, huh?
Shit.
We haven't had the wide camera angle on for a while because it died.
That's fine. I mean, James, that doesn't matter. It's incredible how thick that beard is. All right, Jumbo, good stuff. Good stuff today. Tomorrow we'll chat Pochettino, Pep Guardiola. We'll get into a little bit more on the Chelsea side. I'll give you my thoughts there. We'll talk about the report card for Tottenham as well for the season. James, good stuff today.
Good stuff. Rickus, don't listen to MKT. I've got you covered. Don't stress.
Sure.
Stress.
Again, James, and to anybody at home, if your partner has to explain more than like two, how many times have you had to say it now, James? That I got your back. I got your back.
Well, I just don't know whose side he's taking because I saw he wrote another comment that he had deleted, but I'd read it before he deleted it about the whole gaming situation.
Listen, James, if you have to explain a million times, if you were being honest, you wouldn't have to explain a million times. And if you are in a relationship, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have heard somebody lying to you before, and I think the fact that you had to explain it 6 times probably makes Rickus more worried than not. Just do what you're going to say you're going to do. Don't tell us. You know what I mean? You should be secure enough for me to be having a go and just ignoring it, being above it, being an Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? James Jimbo Illingsley, it's been awesome, pal. Good Monday. Looking forward to tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is MKT. This is the MKT Show. It's been another cracker. Chelsea, champions, the greatest team on planet Earth. Undeniable now. It is undeniable. The toughest club competition in the world, I am told. Chelsea are champions. Josepa Azpilicueta lifted the trophy. Shout out the Blues, champions of England before, champions of Europe once again. My name, MKT. This is the MKT Show. For now, ladies and gentlemen, we are the hell out of here.